Welcome back to you, Blueberry Pie. I have a very interesting observation here. Now, I've spoken a bit about this, and I wanted to go through some PulseChain Hex and PulseX crowd consensus talk. You know, people ask me, why is it important? I'll tell you why it's important. Because it's the biggest expectation in all of crypto. Do you understand? The crowd expects a 100x. For PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, it expects a $2 Hex. Find me another coin in crypto where the crowd expects a 100x. You won't find one. Do you understand? PulseChain's real DeFi, so is PulseX, and so is Hex. It's just interesting that the PulseChain and Hex community is upset with a 100x expectation not being met. Only getting a 50x, only getting a 30x. They're upset by that. That's why it might be a weak point. Let's look at Bitcoin, friends. Like, I really gotta go through this, okay? From today's price, at the time of my recording, Bitcoin, you know the crowd consensus to Bitcoin? The crowd consensus is $120,000 on the dot. That's a freaking 3.2x. My gosh. The crowd, Habib. The crowd expects a 3.2x. 226% gain from here. In PulseChain land, the crowd expects a 100x. Isn't that fascinating? Yes, there's opportunity here. Gee, I wonder which is better for high value growth. I can't figure it out. Not financial advice. Go buy bonds, see how that works out. These same expectations are in other coins too. We can go through them, you know. XRP. Now, there are people they talk about $9 and $10 XRP. Yeah, they talk about it. But that's not the crowd consensus. You know what the crowd consensus is? The crowd consensus is the all-time high. That's the crowd consensus. $3. I wonder if it shifts over time. The crowd consensus is $3. Look, I don't have the exact numbers, but if the average crowd member expects $9 XRP, think about the return from here. I mean, that is like a 13x. Think about that. Just have a think about that, friends. 13x is what the crowd thinks they're going to get. If you only get a third of that, or half, you're only going to get what? All right, you're going to get the all-time high. That's what I'm talking to you, the real consensus, right? What I mean by the real consensus, it means the people who are thinking of selling at $9, when they are being shielded and promoted and everything's going around there, the maximum point people might pay is $3 because they think it's going to $9. If you thought it was only going to $6, you don't buy it at $3. You don't buy it at $5. Right? You don't buy it at $4. You might buy it much lower. Do you understand? You understand the game now. So every coin exhibits this. It's fascinating, isn't it? And the expectations keep going less and less. You want to know something fascinating? This only happens in crypto. Doesn't happen in stocks, commodities, real estate. Why? Because they're so efficient. Because you have so many years of data. You don't have emotional money coming in, and it's government controlled. Governments and supply, they supply things that come online so much more aggressively in commodities. You have interest rates, the US Fed, the printing money. They're trying to control these boom and bust cycles. They debase the currency to do that. We don't have that in crypto. It's literally wild, wild west. But unfortunately, we're becoming more mature over time. Well, it's not really unfortunate. That's what you're playing for, right? There's so many examples we can speak about, friends. Well, you know, even Cardano. People only bought it up at $3 because the target was 8 to 10. All right? I specifically remember, go watch BitBoy channels. BitBoy was making videos, $8 to $10 Cardano. I remember seeing a survey, I'm not making this up, a survey from college kids in the US of A, the great American country, the US of A, college kids were asking how to buy Cardano, and their expectation was $8 to $10. Not making this up. I remember it clear as hell. And I was saying, oh my gosh, college kids. I thought it was going to go a bit higher. I was so surprised when I just did this mean reversion. Isn't it fascinating? Now, you got to find these things out in everything you're in. I like the fact that PulseChain's 100x by the crowd. Still. And the rest of crypto, I just gave you XRP, man. XRP, they only expect a 13x. You know, there are other altcoins out there. Go look at any other big altcoins. They're only expecting like 13 or 15x max. All right, divide that by 3. What if they don't get their 13 or 15x? What if they only get a 4 to 5? Now, I hope the expectations go higher. That's why it's still great here. You know, this is a positive. This is the best. I love this. There are 180 content creators. We're going to play some Arabic guitar oud music, friends, and we're going to crank it again, all right? It's beautiful that we can see this, can't we? See, when Bitcoin was $17,000, the Hex community still had a crowd target of 500x expectations for PulseChain and PulseX before it launched down here. I still remember. I was there. We were all there. 500x. I remember seeing the polls, by the way. There were polls out there. People had in each tally, and it was 500x. That was around there. So it was between, 250 to 1,000. So you just put 500, right? Now, as Bitcoin rallied, so Bitcoin went up, all right? We climbed out of a bear market. Bitcoin carried the industry out of a bear market. You understand? And we got Rockenegra ETF. So as Bitcoin climbs out of the bear market, recovers crypto, something strange happened that I noticed. That 500x target, it lowered from 500x down to only 70x from sacrifice price. So you had to sell the news, PulseChain, everything launched, everything went down. And as time goes on, what people expect went lower. Now, you are probably wondering, how is this even the most important thing walking forward? Well, I'm going to get to that because the wisdom of the crowd in markets is fascinating. It will spook you. It's very spooky. It's not random. All right. Some of these things happen. There's a method to the madness when there's chaos here. All right. So don't forget, the crowd today expects 100x for Pulse, PulseX, and Hex. That's $2 Hex. And it's 70x from day one SAC for Pulse, and then 20x from day one SAC for PulseX. Now, people get upset when they hear this. But look, I'm reporting what the crowd thinks. Consistent surveys, consistent polls. Speak to everyone. I'm just reporting what they think. You can't argue with me. Just like, people say to me, oh, you're too bearish on Bitcoin. No, I'm not. You're too bearish on Bitcoin, buddy. The crowd's expectation for Bitcoin is only 120K. Are you serious? Not even a 2x above the previous all-time high? That's the crowd. So that includes the $1 million predictions and the 100K predictions. They're so stacked to less than a 2x from the all-time high. Really? I'm not making my targets based off me. I'm making my targets based off what's priced into the crowd. Why? Because I've already told you the only secret to markets is positioning. I want to see how everybody's positioned. What are they positioned for? That's how you win at this game. Buy low, sell high. Well, how do you know what low is? How do you know what high is? That's how you know. I'm teaching you the game. So it did break my heart a bit, but yeah, the crowd, you guys, all of you've lowered your expectations by 86%. Ouch. So I have to lower mine. All right. So as we went through, right, after a product release, you have a sell the news component, and then people see the reality is not as nice in the dreams. Now, what I mean by that is the PulseChain bridge. You're like, oh, wait, we don't just get money from exchanges. We need money to move over. And then I made it like that thread post. A lot of you liked it. It was very controversial. And they're like, oh, we need hundreds of millions of dollars coming in. Yeah, man. Yeah, we do. Yeah. If you want to get a non-origin address market cap of $600 billion and you need 1.5 to 2.5 billion in the liquidity, yeah, man, you're going to need hundreds of millions of dollars coming in to fight all the selling and then to keep dragging it up. So yeah, in a nutshell, if nobody sells, sweet, it goes up. There's no other extra wallet sacrifice. There is no time lockup. So you need that. How else are you going to get that? Money has to come in and push it up. Not saying it won't happen, just saying we watch the bridge. I think there's something else going on here, but you know, we've gone through this, friend. Don't worry, we'll find the answers. You know, so one comment I always hear, and look, I want this to be true. So when I discover these, I don't sit here and go, golly gee, let's get bearish. Like, friends, like I gotta. There's a lot of new people here. Welcome for you. You are talking with the dude with a peanut brain who literally went all in on Bitcoin here while everybody said 1K. And I said, they're going to cut rates. They're going to print money. They're going to raise the debt. Everything's going to go to the freaking moon. Bitcoin's going to break the all-time high. Do you think it was easy back then? Do you know what people were telling me here? People were telling me that Bitcoin, its 10-year target was $25,000 by 2030. That was the most bullish person. You know who said that? Mr. Crypto Face. I still remember. He said it around here. 25K. I still remember. All right. And I was like, what? Hey, am I looking at the wrong data? I got scared, but I got scared. All right. So I'm no stranger to bear markets. I was born in the bear markets. Just that something happened in 2021 to trap millions and millions and millions of people. And I thought, you know what? Well, how do I know it's not going to happen again? How do I win next time on the way down too? These are the things I wanted to explore. And I found the answers. I'm here 18 hours a day. I'm here giving you the answers. If you didn't like the answer, can't help you. I really can't help you because this is not the answer I want. I've come to terms with the reality with these. Many people haven't, right? And I already know there's nothing you can do to change a crowd, friends. That's the funny part. There's literally nothing. So, you know, people will say, if your profit targets from the crowd, if they were simply because of the bear market, right? So that's what people will say to me. They'll go, no. The profit targets are lower because we're in a bear market. Okay, explain how Bitcoin and Ethereum have been in a bull market for a year. Prices have recovered everywhere else. We've got an ETF coming. How come the crowd's expectations of the targets still keep lowering? You know, there are valid arguments. You might say, oh, corrupt SEC and Richard doing not this or not that. Okay, well, that's interesting because before they happened, what were people saying? They were saying, it doesn't matter if the SEC comes. And they were saying, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes down. We're a bear market hedge. And they were saying we have superior game theory and tokenomics. People are locked up. Okay, so something's happened. Clearly something happened. And everyone got a dose of reality. That's what happened. Okay, people starting to realize, oh, okay, my prices were just too high before. I just got to lower them down. You know, 100x is still good. Before I wanted a 500x, now we've got to drop to 100x. Okay, it's actually from 500x down to 70x. So, you know, when we discover these, you know, this is the truth, right? The crowd is getting more accurate at pricing in reality. That's it. It happens in everything. That's why I tell you. So why do you think gains diminish, friends? Because people get better at pricing them in. It gets harder and harder to move money and harder to get more people to be super emotional at the tail end because all the people who are already in, they're heavier weight. They're already in. This is just a PulseChain chart. Look, there's still plenty of upside. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, friends, you want to go live in a world where the average market participant is expecting a 12x? Good luck to that. They're expecting 12. We're expecting 100. It's 10 times better. Now, want to know what's fascinating? You know, this is going to blow your mind. This really is going to blow your mind. XRP community expect about, let's say it's around the 10x from here. A 10x, that's crowd consensus. They're 35 billion market cap. Pulse community, PulseChain, we are 1/10 the size of XRP. We're 3.5 billion market cap for all of us, all the coins, and we expect a 100x. Crazy. So what I'm basically telling you is XRP community expects 300 billion market cap and PulseChain community, all the coins, expect crowd consensus, 300 billion market cap. Weird. Very weird. Similar communities. Why this number 300 billion? I don't know. I don't know why. Is it a complete coincidence? Yeah, I don't know. You want to know what's also pretty crazy? This is, maybe I should show you this too, part, because this is gonna give you a bit of goosebumps. Where did Cardano top out in the previous bull market? 100 billion. Where did BNB top out in the previous bull market? 100 billion. Where did XRP top out in the previous bull market? 90 billion. Around 100. It's just weird how people who don't even look at market cap to trade in the midst of the euphoria, Cardano, decentralized, blockchain, layer 1 chain, whatever. BNB, right, tied to Binance, and then XRP not tied to anything, world CBDCs. Different community members, no overlap, different principles, even different cycles, different use cases, different logos. They all topped out at 100 billion market cap. Do you remember I told you what's crowd consensus for Pulse and XRP? 300 billion? Wouldn't it be a bit spooky if we could only get about 1/3 of that to about 100 billion? Be very spooky. I don't know why. See, how are you trading off this? How does the market know? It's the mind of the masses. It's the wisdom of the masses. Individually, no one knows what the hell they're doing. But the collective mindset of everybody, it really is a big collective biological organism, friends. The market is really good at pricing this stuff in. So what's the community actually thinking about? You know, thinking about a lot of things. Well, you know, you have people pricing in the future now. They know if Bitcoin drops more than 50%, you don't have that false bear market hedge narrative anymore. You know, I'm just giving you one example. You know, remember in Hex, people were saying, well, you know, what if we go down? Oh, it doesn't matter, right? We're tied to USDC liquidity, and we have all these, you know, we have staking, we have lockup, we have the best found, the best that we had all these. It was not enough to stop minus 99%. It wasn't. Okay, it wasn't enough to ravage it. The stock market dilution effect of all the split of the coins was too big. Okay, so as you can see, the crowd, see, whether I exist or not, whether I teach or not, friends, trust me, I'm a little peanut. I'm a little drop in the ocean. I'm nothing, all right? I'm with you. We're outsiders, all right? The collective mindset, okay, the crowd, it's getting more wise as the years goes on. It gets more efficient. Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins, it gets better at pricing these things on average. As more cycles continue, the gains do diminish. You know, I have a lovely response here as well. Shout out to Mr. Kevy as well. Mr. Hexmaster asked a fantastic question. Shout out to Mr. Hexmaster. I'm going to give you a little green love heart here. Look, Mr. Hexmaster said, you think the crowd is getting more accurate, but the crowd is almost never accurate. Now that no one expects 500x, it's all of a sudden a viable possibility. If everyone was banking on it, we'd be screwed. Yes, great point. But I got to tell you something. All right, trust me, I don't want to hear this, friends. Look, just close your ears and just walk away if you don't want to hear this. I'm just going to give you some examples of what happened in the past. The crowd actually gets more accurate with these predictions over time. Okay, so for example, they were wildly inaccurate in Bitcoin's first cycle. It's the first one, right? We birthed Bitcoin. We had no idea where it was going to go. Oh my gosh, right? Just birthed out of nowhere. So they're wildly inaccurate. Absolutely no idea. But then, in the second cycle for Bitcoin, they were still inaccurate in its second cycle, where there's lots of money to be made, but it was less wild, right? You know how I know this? Do you know Raoul Pal? Mr. Raoul Pal made an article back then, around here, 2012, 13, and he spoke about, hey, Bitcoin is an asymmetric trade. Either it goes to $0 or $1 million, put a little bit. And he compared it to the money supply market cap of gold, right? So think about it. So you had somebody out here thinking about conceptualizing these and making articles. They didn't exist before. All right. Now, they were just still theoreticals, right? But as Bitcoin's price goes up, we take it more seriously, don't we? Now we're in 2017. And then Michael Saylor takes it more seriously in 2020. All right. By the time we hit the third cycle, which was 2021, so we just had the third cycle in 2021, Dogecoin mania. The crowd is now really good at pricing in the euphoria. Much better. Now, it's still wrong, but look how much they're wrong. The margin of error of being wrong is much tighter. So, yeah, sure, the crowd expected 150K back in 2021, but they got 60K. So look at this, okay? We expected 150K up here. We expected 150 up here, and we got 60. But in the grand scheme of things, this ain't too bad, right? That's not too bad at all compared to how much margin of error it used to have. Now, I'm not going to use the stock to flow model, but this just illustrates exactly what I'm talking about. Look at here. You had no fair value, nothing. But look what happens here, okay? You had enormous euphoria. So you can actually see the distance between the euphoria, friends. It's big. It goes $1,000. It's like a 10x. A 10x deviation between fair value and the peak. In the next cycle, you only had a 4x. Interesting deviation. What about in 2021? Look how much we had, friends. This is disgusting, by the way. We had, oh my gosh, we had 20%. Ouch. Look, it actually, okay, look, this is bigger. This is 40 on 60, 50%. So when it was 60K, it was a 40K. So look at that. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting, man. 50%. 50%. So that's actually 0.5x. Do you see? Look at this. 10x disconnect, 4x disconnect, 0.5x disconnect. You see? People got smarter. They got wiser by the third cycle. You know, and I explained those in these deviations here. So what about this cycle coming up? Well, the crowd's actually very accurate for Bitcoin. It doesn't look like it, but no, we're super accurate, man. We have hope for higher, but we're actually very accurate. We expect a $120,000 Bitcoin, right? So you go up here, 120,000. That's what the crowd expects. I think we're going to get like 80K, which is, look at that. That's only 32% lower. Other people expect we're going to get like 55% higher. Look at that, 33%, 50% swing. That's nothing. You see that swing? That's tiny. In the first cycle, we had a 1,000% deviation, and then a 400% deviation, and then a 50% deviation. Wild. You know, maybe, you don't know, right? Maybe, friends, we get 120K Bitcoin, but it comes within like 100K. It's only like a 20% deviation. That could happen, right? It could happen. It could be more nice because it's now a fourth cycle. So, you know, this fourth cycle for Bitcoin is just showing you the path of what happens, you know? And of course, whenever I tell people this, they go, no, my coin's different. We got different leader, different founder, different this, different that. I go, all right. You're not different to the past 100 years of stock market booms and busts, of commodities, of different asset classes. It's all the same. It's the wisdom of the crowd. Why? We're all here to win, aren't we? Aren't we all here to win? And what I tell you, the secret to markets is positioning. So when you have a data point that appears in the market, the next cycle that appears, people are now factoring that into their positions. That's what they're doing. They go, okay, how much did you do last time? 100x? Okay, sweet. So I should be okay for like a 50x this time, right? But what they don't know is everybody else in the market is also positioned for a 50x. So maybe it only stops at 30x, which is actually, scarily enough, exactly what happened in 2021. Everybody was like, okay, let's get 150K. Maybe I'll take my money out at 100K. But guess what? We only hit 70 because everybody was thinking the same. Nobody wanted to buy Bitcoin at 70, 80, or 90K because they all knew deep down they were going to get out at 100. You're probably wondering, like, how is this so obvious? Well, the thing is, look, it is obvious, but we get caught up in our emotions that we don't look to the left and right. Because when green candles come, they really do intoxicate you because your value is going up. And when red candles come, so it's a human emotions, fear and greed, as old as time itself. Now you get to see the truth. You get to see what I see. All right, there's going to be more videos on this. Look, I hope the PulseChain, I hope everyone in PulseChain, we raise our targets to 300x. Wouldn't that be sweet? Just telling you, I have never seen that happen before. All right. Now, here's the thing, man. We might get to the target. This is one possibility. We might get to the target and then everybody raises the target. And people are going to think that's like some sort of like God-given right and entitlement to go another double or triple. It doesn't work like that. You have to get the targets when everybody's thinking rationally. Because when people are thinking irrationally, you are going off people's full-on euphoric exuberance. And you can't take them as gospel. You're looking at everybody with their pants down, right? It's the equivalent of me telling you, okay, Bitcoin's going to $1 million in 90 days. You see what I mean? You go, oh, everyone's expecting $1 million, huh? Okay, well, I'm going to sell at 500K. Okay, you can only do this before everything heats up. That's why we are buying in the depression. You understand this information. That's how we navigate this scope. Don't forget, you are my friend. You've leveled up today. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all love and appreciate you.